Okay, winter review video. Winter chicken dinner. How's it going, everybody? So it is officially the first week of March, and we are just about to start wrapping up the winter 2022 season. So as usual, it's time to do my seasonal analysis video of all the openings and endings. And somehow or other, I managed to sort of keep my promise from last season, where I said that I would try and keep up with as many shows as I could, because last season I just wasn't really watching anything. In fairness, it's probably just because I couldn't really go out last month because of all the restrictions that were going on, so I mean, I guess it's a blessing in disguise. I've been really enjoying a lot of the anime this season, and a lot of the openings and endings, I mean the openings especially, have been really just knocking it out of the park. So like I do every season, I'm just going to be going through a lot of the top picks of the openings and endings that I have, and then at the very end of the video, I'll also be choosing my favorite of the season. So stick around until the end if you want to see that. First up, for Winter 2022, we have the opening for Season 2 of Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer, 残響散歌 by MA. Oh, it's such a cool opening. Like, I love this sort of jazziness to it. I really like a lot of the way that it progresses. It's very smooth. It's a bit gradual from that first verse into the chorus, but there's something about the way it works with Emer's voice. She has that sort of breathiness that just kind of, it flows very well. And it's a bit understated, but the piano line in the back is really, really nice. Understated chorus. Oh no. Okay, that was cool. It sounded like it was winding down for understated chorus. Oh, it's so good. It's hype, but it's also just fun in like the best ways. And a nice, cool ending. It sounds weird to say it, but like a good abrupt cut ending, because it doesn't always work for songs. Yeah, no, I really love that. I'm sure you guys have noticed in the past that I quite enjoy listening to jazz stuff. I think a lot of it comes from the fact that I just don't really understand a lot about jazz. I'm not jazz trained at all. Really great stuff, really fun, really good groove. Good way to start this off, I think. Next up, we've got the opening for Sono Bisque Doro wa Koi o Suru, My Dress Up Darling, Tensai Days by Spira Spica. And it's such a weird shift there. They don't really transition it, it's just like suddenly new key, except that the first chord isn't. Fun little motel beat. Everything about this is so good. It's got like that good mix of the funk horns. I guess you could call them pop horns. That felt a bit lazy, but also this section is, what is this weird like wonky bass going on? It's funny, you can hear the sort of funk influence in it, but they've really reeled in the funk so that it sounds more like, I guess, more appropriate as like a youthful high school romancy kind of vibe. So it's more poppy than funky. I do think that transition back into the first sound is a bit weak. Also had the kind of fun cut-off ending, the sudden cut-off ending. Demon Slayer's definitely worked a little better than this one, but I think this one was also not going for the same vibe. Thematically, because it's a like high school romance, they really went for the sort of poppy, youthful, like rock, we can do anything kind of sound. Best girl, I should be forgetting her name. I am though, and I'm terrible for it because Marin. I don't know. It somehow it fits that whole vibe, and I think it's great. Great song, great first two songs to start it off with. But now let's move on. Next up, we've got the second opening for Ousama ranking, Haraka no Yuusha by Bondi. Bondi is so good. I love him. I don't know any of the words. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really care for this song too much when I first heard it, but it like grew on me really quick, like within like 2 episodes, I think. Oh, Bondi, he's such a good producer. It shows how good he is being able to cut between like such contrasting sections but making it sound so smooth. I love the sort of lullaby-esque way that his like high-pitched singing goes before he goes into like the more aggressive stuff, because it's so fitting with how the story is presented. Really nice bridge. I mean, is this even a bridge? It sounds almost like just a verse. Oh, it's so good. He's so good at transitioning between like the really high contrast sections, the loud and then the quiet. Supporting strings though, they're really filling out that. Oh. I wasn't ready for the ending to come up because I was trying to make a point and then it's like, shut up, your point's not important. We're at the end of the song. Bondi, he has like such a really, really good sense for how to make music just work when it otherwise might not. The whole way that he presents this song, it's like, it's presented like a lullaby, but everything in between, it's just like, there's like the whole adventure. It's like, it's doing all of its stuff, and it's so good. He has such a great understanding of music and how to work narratively with a piece. Getting off topic, this song in particular are very, very good. Next up, we have Attack on Titan, the final season part 2 opening. I guess it's final season opening 2, The Rumbling by Sim. I'm not really like the hugest metal fan, but like, I mean, could you even classify this as metal? I mean, talking about contrast, these are contrasting sections. I love how Attack on Titan music, like the openings, they always feel very Attack on Titan, even if this sounds nothing like Guren no Yumiya. And it's just like, it works though. If I lose it all, like that ball, I will never walk away. I really love the chromatic descent with the strings just doing their thing to give it that sort of like, it's weird, like creeping sort of feeling. Weird, what is this? Oh, I actually kind of like that, the sudden shift. Like it's a very different key all of a sudden. Very dark, the sort of choral singing. It is really cool though that it's just like suddenly this darker, muddier chord sound. Ooh. Are we gonna get an understated chorus or is it gonna... Oh, let's go. Oh, really good multi-part is it even polyphony? I'll be honest, like when I first heard it, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. But the more you listen to it, it actually like, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, that is pretty typical of metal music. There's a lot of polyphony, a lot of cool harmonies, a lot of intermixed ideas, chromatic strings, and like the deep, heavy, like weird chord shifted thing that was going on for, I guess it was the bridge. It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. It's maybe not my favorite, I guess, metal opening. The Rumbling, great song, great show. Let's move on. Next up, we've got the opening for Koroshi, Love of Kill, Midnight Dancer by Masuda Toshiki. Oh, it's so so good. I love this. This very Latin style of, is it Latin pop, would you call it? I mean, I don't even know. Just like, oh, it's so fun though. And the weirdest part is like the vocals are probably the weakest part, not because he's a bad singer, but because the vocal line is not doing very much. I kind of wish he'd be, like, his vocal line was a little more exciting, because there's really not a lot going on with it, but the music is just like, yes! Hey, horns, let's go! Ooh, let's go! And now we're getting disco vibes with these strings. Let's go! Ooh, slow jamming it now? Man, that was probably the best bridge. I mean, we're only like 5 songs in, but what a bridge. I mean, whoever arranged this, like, well done. Again, I can't really speak too much to the like technicalities of the music other than just like, wow, that arrangement. It was like, it just sounded amazing. It's kind of weird that they were going for such a very understated vocal line while the rest of the arrangement is just like blasting everywhere. I kind of wish that given the nature of the song itself, they had just gone all out, been like bombastic horns, crazy vocal line, because he definitely sounded like he had the pipes for it. Weird choice by the composer, but amazing music from the arranger, who might be the same person, I don't know. Let's move on to the next song, which is the opening for Sabikui Bisco, Kaze no oto sae kikoenai by Junna. Ooh, yes! Yes, this rhythm! Oh, that's sort of, I don't even know what to call it. It's just like a punky rhythmic way of singing. You hear it with like Joan Jett and stuff, like old school stuff. It's definitely the beat that's carrying a lot of this. I mean, her vocals are great too. She's got such a cool voice. Like, she's really got that classic sort of female punky voice. It's very full-bodied. She could do like a Christina Aguilera growl, and I would just like, oh, if she did that. Interesting bridge. Those are weird chords in the background. Like, I don't think it's a key change. It's just outside the key chords. Props to the drummer too. Like, this is not very difficult drumming, but it feels very clean and held together by the drummer for a lot of this because it's so rhythmically stable, I guess. Great stuff. Like, her voice, her vocals are so good. And then also, like, just rhythmically very stable, and something about it just being so clean really pushed it along, especially when she got into, like, what I was saying, like those punky vocals. They're like, I really enjoyed that. It makes me feel nostalgic, weirdly enough, to like watching Shrek because of the Joan Jett song. Next up, we've got the opening for Platinum End, Sense by BAND-MAID. Kind of cheating because this is just a carryover from last season. I wasn't watching Platinum End last season. I didn't start it until this season, but it's 2 core and the song didn't change. So you know what? It's going in here anyway. Whoever wrote this beginning part, like, great harmonies, like, so good. And then we get this, oh, BAND-MAID, such a good band. And then we get the pushing rhythms, let's go! Cool double kick. I mean, they're not crazy double kicks. It might even be single kicks just going pretty fast. She's so good at singing. She's got such a great voice. And I really love the bass. Like, the bass they chose for this is so good. Ooh, okay. Okay. Not what I was expecting. I've heard the full version of this a few times now, and like, I just completely forgot about all this. Ooh, very like interesting rhythms for the solo. A lot of like crazy triplet things going on. And oh, that's such a cool descending line there. I mean, right at the very end. Really interesting stuff going on with that song. Such a great band. The singer, like, such a powerful voice. Such good control with the way that she sings. And she never really backs down from how insane, like, her backup arrangement is. And also that opening, I thought maybe it was only in like the anime opening version. Obviously for me, my orchestral background bias, I love it. And it's really nice harmony too, and just like really nice writing. It doesn't come back though. Like they don't make any references to that ever again. Really cool, just like kind of weird that it didn't come back. I kind of wish it did, but I'm not upset that it didn't, if that makes sense. Next up, we have the opening for Slow Loop, Yajirushi by Poco-Poco-Yon, which is a duo of Toyama Nao and Yasuno Kiyono. Very slow. Really like the piano line though, it's very simple. I like that it just kind of like keeps going. Nice polyphony, harmony, harmony and polyphony. Ooh, trombone, let's go. Ooh, cello in there too? Who wrote this? Because hats off to you. Ooh, what is this section? Oh, this is such like an interesting mix of instruments. I love how well their voices blend together too. They just work so well. I know they're not idols, but voice actresses are kind of like idols. So the fact that they're harmonizing, I'm just like, yes, yes, harmony in J-pop. I kind of wish there would be like a trombone solo because you can't really hear much of what he's doing. Oh, this is so good. Ooh, let's go trombone solo! Okay, I didn't even talk about the mix at all for that. I talked about the arrangement. The arrangement's super cool, very weirdly pop orchestra. Really great strings. Then they had the cello soloist and like the trombonist. But yeah, whoever mixed that and decided on the way that everything was going to be written, that was so much better than I realized it was going to be. I'm genuinely surprised by how much I was vibing with that. I really liked that after every chorus, it had the sort of instrumental breakdown. I don't want to keep talking about it now, but like, ooh, that's very much vying for top spot right now. Next up, we've got the opening for Tensai Ouji no Akaji Kokka Saiseijutsu Level by Yanagi Nagi and The Sixth Lie. I really like this guitar. It's not doing much, but like a lot more interesting than the rest of the arrangement so far. Okay, I'm digging it. I think this is my most blind pick because I think I skip the opening for this show every time, so I don't actually remember what it sounds like. Ooh, that was fun. Interesting chords for when they were harmonizing. Like, not bad, it's just not the harmonizations I was expecting. I like this almost sort of like lo-fi kind of beat. Lo-fi with only acoustic instruments though, and no filter. Hey, this is just my bias loving the understated choruses. That was a really smart choice to have him take the lead for this understated chorus though. You can get that like low octave. Such a good build. Very standard sort of J-rock pop sound, but that's not a bad thing. It almost reminds me of Back Number, which it sounds nothing like Back Number, but just the general vibe. I'm not gonna lie with that one, that was probably, again, like I said earlier, the most blind I've gone into one of these songs. It's a very standard sort of J-poppy song. I have mixed feelings about how their voices mixed together, because on the one hand, they did sound very good together, especially, like, ironically for me, the parts where they were singing in unison. The harmonies, I guess Yanagi Nagi's voice, it was just coming out too much for that upper harmony, and it was taking away from the fact that he was singing the main melody. It did have that really good drop for the understated chorus where it was just him for the beginning, and then she came in just the octave up. Good stuff, just very standard, hard for me to say much more than just the standard stuff I would say about any J-pop thing. Let's move on to the final opening of the bunch that I kind of put on here last second. Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san Season 3, Massugu by Ohara Yuiko. They left the water sounds in. Interesting. Ooh, okay. That's not how... Is this how it goes in the anime version? Here we go. Yeah, no, that was... Ooh, what a weird thing that they leave out. Just like part of the intro, but not the very intro. I would love to hear harmony on top of this. This sounds like it has such a good harmonizing melodic line. Oh, so cute, so fun. Ooh, what is this drum? Lo-fi drum in the back. Fun little solo. Hey. Ooh, nice piano line. Let's go. Hey, cool little piano things in there. It was fun. It's nice and calming. I put it on here because it was kind of like, yeah, it keeps popping up in my head, and I do like it a lot. It sounds weird to say. It sounds exactly like what you would expect the rest of the song to sound like based on the 90-second version. Compared to all the other songs we've heard before this, it felt like it wasn't doing very much. I feel like I wanted a little bit more out of the song than what I already knew. I mean, good stuff. I always like Ohara Yuiko music, and I'm sure she's the one who composed that whole thing herself, like she tends to do for a lot of her music. I wish there was more because I liked it, but I wanted more than what it offered. Good stuff, and that's it for the endings. For the openings, I think I said the endings. First up for the endings, we've got the ending for Kimetsu no Yaiba Season 2, Demon Slayer, Asa ga Kuru by Emer. Classic Kajiura Yuki cadence. This vocal line right here is really good. I've said my piece on Kajiura Yuki's writing. If you haven't heard that, then here it is. You can click on it there and complain to me afterwards. She's like such a great songwriter. Songwriting as in songs that can be sung. This is a perfect example. It's such a weird thing. Like, the chorus is not what I'm ever expecting it to be, which you could take as a good thing or not. I kind of see it as a neutral thing. I really like the chorus. It's just not the chorus that I'm expecting. Hey, Kajiura, also very good at string writing. When she gets into like her 4-part harmony writing, so good. What is this ending? It's so different from the rest of the song. What is happening? It's fitting, but part of me feels like it wasn't fitting. I have a lot of weird conflicting feelings about it, but not for the reasons that people are going to assume. The way that the chorus actually progresses, the vocal melody is not the one that I'm expecting. The chords, the first one is what I'm expecting, and then it shifts to one that I'm not expecting on its own. It sounds really great. For a split second, I'm like, this sounds bad. No, wait, it still sounds good. And I recognize that it sounds great. It's just like this weird thing. And then also that ending section felt like it stopped being a song and suddenly turned into Kajiura's background music, which I guess is not really a complaint, except that this is just a regular song, so it shouldn't be doing that. I think for me, it's like every individual part of this song is very, very good. For some reason, when it all gets put together, it loses me a little bit, and I don't know what that is. Let's move on before I get people complaining that I'm just complaining because it's you-know-who. The next ending we've got is, again, for My Dress Up Darling, Koi no Yukue by Akase Akari. I really like that, the wonky sort of kazoo sounding synth in the back doing a little flourishes. And then we just got the horns out of nowhere. Ooh, okay, cool little sound effects. Second verse, always the coolest. I love the little water drop effect. Oh, it's so fun. Like, it's such a weird effect. The dizzy vocal line, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't even know why this one stood out to me that much, but I'm really enjoying this, actually. It is really fun, and there's a lot of cool, like, mixing stuff going on. I just love all the little, like, wonky sound effects. I feel like this one would have just been really fun to perform for all of them, like everyone involved. Anyway, yeah, no, that song, there's a lot to say about it. I just don't have the technical chops to say a lot of those things because it has more to do with the sound mixing, the actual programming of some of the synths and stuff. They were getting a lot of like really interesting sounds, the weird wonkiness that gave a lot of it like a dizzying effect, which really worked with the way that her vocal line was written, because like especially like going into the chorus, the last little thing that happens every time, and it just like it gives this sort of like, ooh, dizzy, what, we're back in it, and then just a very sort of like, yay, this is a fun chorus. Ooh, my back. Oh, I'm old. Ugh. I feel like that would be really fun for them to perform live. It's very simple, but there's a lot of little like fun things going on in it. Yeah, just like really fun stuff with that one. Next up, we've got the ending for part 2 of the final season of Attack on Titan, Akuma no Ko by Higuchi Ai.
鉄の玉が正義の証明貫けば英雄に近づいたその目を閉じて自由なんだから
Oh, such a deep drop, but not like the kind that gets you hype or anything. Oh, such a good mix. And obviously her vocals are just beautiful. Oh, it's such a good like key shift there, going so major out of like that like very, very dark opening segment. Ooh, this flute, this bamboo flute. Ooh. Never heard this part. Drums. Hey, this bridge though, like nothing's happening. What? This is so weird. Like this is so subverted from normal because it's just like nothing's happening. Ooh, that was a really nice extension of the note there. Oh, just such good singing, and like the way that the music all shifts around, a lot of it's very sudden. The way that they've written it makes the sudden shifts work super well. Like that. How is the piano gonna end? When does it end? Hey, there we go. I love the musical transitions in that. Obviously the key changes, but then also just like the way the shifts happen. She's very, very dark in the beginning, and then suddenly you can feel the sort of like lilt as it shifts into major, and then right as the chorus comes in, it's just like bam, we're in the major mode. There's also a lot of weird stuff like the bridge. Nothing happened in the bridge. It was just a backing track, but she wasn't singing. I just genuinely didn't know what to think because it was like, why is there nothing happening? I really love that song. I want to listen to it some more just to see if like I can figure out if there was something more going on. Why was it just nothing? Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we've got the ending for Akebi-chan no Seira Fuku Baton by Murakami Manatsu, who is the voice actress for Akebi Komichi. Unfortunately, the only official release is not the actual one that they use in the anime, weirdly enough. It's by Saito Shuka, who voices Fukumoto Miki. I would be lying if I could tell you which girl that is. Same song, different singer. So let's just get to it and see how it sounds, because I don't think I've heard this version. Getting some very heavy Sakura Quest vibes. Yeah, definitely a very different voice. Oh, that's who it is. It's the girl that Komichi is obsessed with, that idol girl. I do really like her voice, actually. Pizzicato strings in the background. I don't really like the pizz strings, but everything else sounds really great. Suddenly piano. Ooh, reverse piano. Ooh, okay, that was a cool effect. Oh, her vocals are really good, actually. It's weird. It sounds like she's holding herself back a bit. I guess maybe the idea isn't to belt for this song, but there are some parts where she's, like, holding back a little too much. But this is a really good mix, like a really nice acoustic track that makes me feel nostalgic, which I think is kind of the idea. Oh, the production on this is so good. Just the way they mix in all these reversed sounds with the non-reversed sounds is just like, it's really good. A weird, like, almost completely different vibe for this when you add in the drums like this. It's just like stomps and claps, but it's just very bass-heavy stomps. I think it's because it mixed with a kick. Oh, and I love this. Oh, they didn't do it. They didn't do the little reversed piano bit at the very end. I guess that's only the TV version. That was really cool. Like, I was not expecting it to be that good. I mean, here we are. It was really good. Like, so well mixed, so well arranged, and everything except for the pit strings. I really enjoyed the pits. By the end, didn't bother me, but like they did seem a little out of place in the beginning. Everything else about it was just like amazing, and like her vocals, her voice, like who is this Saito Shuka? I have no idea. Good stuff. I like that a lot. Next up, we've got the ending for Sabikui Bisco, Hoko by Suzuki Ryota and Hanai Natsuki, who are the voice actors for Bisco and Milo. Got some Latin vibes, Latin funk mix. I've said it before, Hanai Natsuki is not the best singer, and it makes it sound like his character is singing, which I think actually works because it sounds like Suzuki Ryota's vocal performance also is supposed to sound like Bisco's singing. Hey, Latin vibes, let's go, Latin guitar. Ooh, Suzuki Ryota has got some pipes, man. I really like the sort of like growly quality, and he's got that sort of twangy whine, and it doesn't work for everyone, but for him, it's like, it's really working. Fun little horn lines. Nice little piano riffs too. Ooh, let's go, trombone! Oh, giving the trombone a lot of love. Sounds like Kato Tatsuya wrote that part. Sounded a lot like, shoot, I forget the name of the show. Weirdly enough, I'm not that into this understated chorus because the Bisco voice is just like destroying the sense of calm. Ooh, really nice way to end that. Suzuki Ryota is a really good singer. He had that sort of twangy whine. I think it worked really well for this, whereas again, like, Hanai Natsuki is not the greatest singer. I really like the arrangement, obviously, because it has that sort of Latin jazz, but also mixed with funk kind of inspired sounds. As for the song as a whole, it was good, whatever. Like, it's fun because the style of music is fun. They went a little overboard with the understated chorus. Suzuki kept doing the Bisco voice, which I understand why, but also it didn't really feel like it was the understated chorus. We've got one more song, so I'm just gonna cut off my thoughts there. So the last song that I want to talk about is the ending for season 2 of Genjitsushugi Yuusha no Oukoku Saikenki, which is the How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Lights by Aimi. Here we go. This album artwork does not fit the vibe of the song. Good build. Nice, long, gradual build. Ooh. Adding in the strings. Ooh, okay, let's go. Okay, this is really good. Really interesting rhythms for the vocal melody too. Like, not that they're overly difficult, not that they need to be, but like very, very interesting. And of course I'm saying all of this over the guitar solo. Ooh. Extremely understated chorus. Like, she's almost whispering, it's so quiet. Damn, it's just gonna make this build up like that much more intense. But the build-up in this song, like the build-ups to the chorus are so good. Hey. I enjoyed that a lot. And I mean, I already knew that I did. I just completely forgot what it sounded like. I'm drawing a blank on what to say because this one I knew I put it in like right away. And maybe that's why, because I think the songs that I put in this list, as soon as I put them in, it was like, okay, don't listen to them anymore because you want to make this good for the video. But it also meant that I've almost like never listened to this song. I really love her vocals. I love the way that the weird rhythms came in and out. It wasn't necessarily where I was expecting, but it always sounded right in a way. That was good. That is the end of the songs, and so we've heard all of them. I had a lot of openings and not so many endings, especially not so many endings that I felt very strongly about this time around. We've got a lot of music to go through and I need to pick some favorites, so I'm just gonna think about that for a second. So top picks for the season. For the openings, kind of out of nowhere, it ended up being one that I just was not even considering would be the potential winner. But I think I have to say my favorite is the opening for Slow Loop, Yajirushi by Poco Poco Yon. Everything about that song, there was just so much to it. Like the amazing instrumentation, the amazing arrangement, the way that their voices blend together and then also harmonized really, really well together. They came in together for unisons when they needed to. They had very interesting instrument choices, but all of them sounded very fitting with the setting. And I really liked just the way that they highlighted, like they had a cello soloist, they had the trombone. It worked and I loved it. I don't expect a lot of people to agree, but you know what? That's that. For the endings, I really thought I was going to pick Attack on Titans, but I ended up picking Akebi-chan's Baton, the version by Saito Shuka, Fukumoto Miki. Everything about it I liked except for maybe like the pit strings. The mix is super clean. Her vocal performance is so amazing. Like everything mixes so well together. It's so clean. It was, I think, one of the only songs in this list where I was listening to it and it just made me feel something that wasn't necessarily associated with the show that it came from. Like I just started feeling nostalgic while listening to it. That like speaks a lot about like the writing of the song. It's hard to top a visceral feeling. If I think back on a lot of the picks that I've done for these videos, a lot of them have just been based off of like which one made me have the most visceral reaction. And so those are all of the songs that I have for this time around. Again, I'm not watching everything, so obviously I probably missed a bunch. I did mention a lot of these songs were sort of things that I was on the fence about, and then I just leaned in favor of putting them in, but there were also quite a few that I leaned in favor of just not putting in because I didn't want to make the video too long. So there are probably lots of songs that I missed that could have made it in here over some of the other ones. So again, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I also have plans to transcribe and do an analysis of one of these songs, and if you want access to the transcription for that song or for any of the other transcriptions I've done in any of my other analysis videos, make sure to go support me over on Patreon. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you in the next one.